Summary. The story The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury is a story about a man called Mr. Mead. He's out for a walk and he tells about the world in the year 2053, when suddenly a police car arrives. There is no person in the car, but the car talks to him. And the car can't understand why Mr. Mead is out, because in this year, in the future, everybody just stays inside their house and they watch television. The police car tells him to get in and then drives away with him. Narrator. The narrator is a third-person narrator and it's limited. The point of view is Mr. Mead, because we can only see the story from his point of view, and we only know about his feelings and his thoughts, not any of the other characters. The narrator is objective to the characters because it doesn't make Mr. Mead look like a crazy person, and it doesn't make the police car look mean or anything like that. It's very objective, and it's up to us to decide what they are like. The narrator is unreliable because we only see the story from one point of view. In order to be reliable, we would have to see from everyone's point of view. If the story had a different narrator, it would probably be a whole other story. For instance, if the people in the houses were the narrators, maybe Mr. Mead would have been seen as a criminal or some kind of a weird person.
The story takes place in year 2053.
Page 1, line 1.
To enter out into that silence that was the city at 8 o'clock of a misty evening in November, to put your feet upon that buckling concrete walk, to step over grassy seams and make your way, hands in pockets, through the silence, that was what Mr. Leonard Mead most dearly loved to do. He would stand upon the corner of an intersection and peer down long moonlit avenues of sidewalks in 4 directions, deciding which way to go, but it really made no difference. He was alone in this world of 2053 AD, or as good as alone, and with a final decision. He made a path selected. He would stride off, sending patterns of frosty air before him like the smoke of a cigar. We know it's in London, which you can hear when the police car asks where he lives, and he answers 11 South St. James Street. The place is real, but some of the things that happen seems pretty weird. The story takes place in the neighborhood. We know that he lives in a normal middle class in London, because we looked it up and it says that South St. James Street is the cheap part of an expensive part of London. The setting is very important for our understanding of the world in 2053, but other than that, it's not really important for our imagination.
The main character is Mr. Mead. We are told that he's a writer.
Page 2, line 15.
Your name? Leonard Mead. Speak up. Leonard Mead. Business or profession?
I guess you can call me a writer.
No profession.
You might say that I haven't written in years. Magazines and books doesn't sell anymore.
No profession. What are you doing out?
Walking.
Walking?
Just walking.
Walking? Just walking?
Yes, sir.
Walking where? For what?
Walking for air. Walking to sea.
Your address?
11 South St. James Street.
And there is an air in your house? You have an air condition, Mr. Mead.
Yes, sir.
And you have a viewing screen in your house to see with?
No.
No? Are you married, Mr. Mead?
No.
Not married?
No, nobody wanted me.
Don't speak unless you're spoken to. Just walking, Mr. Mead.
Yes.
But you haven't explained for what purpose.
I explained, for air, to see and just to walk.
Have you done this often?
Every night for years. Mr. Mead is the odd one out because he's unlike everyone else, and he's perhaps the only normal person left in the world, because he doesn't hide inside his house but goes out into the world. perhaps he's really not the odd one out. The people in the houses are the odd one out. The society are the odd one out. In our perspective, the people in the houses are weird, but in their perspective, it's Mr. Mead who's the weird one. The society has become very robotic.
Themes and messages. In this story, we can see that the robots got a big influence in the whole story, and they got a lot of control over the city. For example, that it is a robot that is controlling the car, I think so. And as they can see that Mr. Mead is walking outside is not normal in this society, because all the people is actually inside and watch TV or is it the computer or something like that. So I think that the robots is thinking that Mr. Mead is a very special person who can't control him anymore, so that's why we are trying to get rid of him.
Page 3, line 24.
Get in. Now, if you had a wife to give you an alibi.
But where are you taking me?
To the Psychiatric Center for Research on Regressive Tendencies.
That's my house.
In the end, there is no motion, no sound, because he is the only one. He's the only one out, and he is the one that is being taken away, and he is never coming back. We think that the message in this story is how about the society has changed from being a society where all people could do what they want and was outside and having a lot of joy. Now they're all inside, watch TV, and is controlled by all the robots, we can call all the remotes and all that stuff we got in nowadays, the technology we got. These days we are in 2011 now, and we would say it was quite normal to just take a walk outside to clear your mind and to get some fresh air, but the police car in this story is actually thinking that the fresh air, you can get that from the air condition or something. But of course you get a lot of fresh air outside, but it's like in the whole story that the environment and the things outside is just tainted and wounded, if you can say so. We should learn to be more independent and not be controlled by all our machines. We should learn to take control over ourselves and how we live, how we eat, and not taking advices by robots. In the end, we should all just be ourselves, just like Mr. Mead.
Perspective. Here in Denmark, we're starting to have robots in our daycares to rock the cribs while the babies are sleeping. And in some kindergartens, parents have to check in and out their own children on a big electronic screen. The government also wants Denmark to be a paper-free society by 2013. Maybe Denmark will become a little bit like this story, and maybe everything will be robotic. We also think that the story reminds us about the film Wall-E, in the way the robots does everything like clean earth and control the ship, etc., while the humans just relaxing, getting fat and lazy, and they doesn't know anything about the surroundings around them, and it's almost like the police car and the humans in the houses in the Pedestrian.
The end.